All right, welcome back. So lots of introduction. Now we're going to finally go and simulate a project. So we're going to be doing lots of simulations, and we want to make sure we keep the same baseline file. So the very first thing I'm going to do is make sure I save a new copy of this file. So I'm not making changes to my original baseline. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and right now I'll just put this on my desktop. So I'll put this on my desktop and we'll say this is, instead of Riepma baseline, this is going to be Riepma weather seal. So that's what I'll call it, or maybe it could be simulation 3 or something like that. We'll have to see how we want to keep track of it. But that's the first thing I'm going to do, is save a new copy. Now I have a new copy, so any changes I make are not going to wreck my original baseline. But I still want to make sure I have this baseline to refer to. So the next thing I'm going to do is go down here to the bottom and right-click or double-click and say Move or Copy. So what I want to do is create a copy of this baseline spreadsheet and click OK. Now I have my analysis baseline here, and I have a copy here. And I'm going to click and rename my copy something that's informative. So we're going to look at a weather sealing project. So that's what I'll name it. I'll name it Weather Seal. Again, maybe that could be simulation 12 or 54 or whatever you want. You are going to want to keep track of the different simulations you do and what actually was done in that in some sort of logical way, especially as you start working with your group. Okay, so we're a few minutes in and now I'm finally ready to change something. What we're going to do for this project is we're going to imagine hiring a contractor to walk all around the cottage and find any little gaps and cracks that can be easily accessed from the inside and outside. And they're going to try to seal those with caulk or spray foam or an appropriate sealant. They're going to go inside of the structure and the trim around windows and doors. What they're going to do is actually have to remove those trim pieces. And then they're going to use spray foam and seal around all of those windows and doors on the interior as well. So a fairly extensive project. Can damage some of the inside a little bit, especially around those trim pieces. Those can be kind of critical to making it effective, but can really stop a lot of leaks from the system. So this is not going to add to the R value of the house. We're not really adding insulation, but what we are going to be doing in this project is stopping leaks. So because this is an air leakage project, I'm looking at these salmon colors here. And I'm looking first in my weather sealing estimated savings table. And I can see caulking and weather sealing here right at the top with an estimated reduction of about 0.2 in this space. Right? Depending on how good the original structure is, this may actually vary quite a bit between a small number and a rather large number if the original structure is quite leaky. This is our estimate for Riepma. So how I'm going to simulate this is quite easy. I'm going to look at this cell, the total reductions, and I'm going to write equals, and then I'm going to go over to my table and click on cell Q22, which is that caulking and weather sealing number. I'm going to use an equation rather than just typing 0.2 into my cell. And that's because using the equation will help me understand later on where I was actually getting that 0.2 savings. So I'm going to write that equation and then click enter. You can see now my initial air changes per hour was 1.7. Now it's estimated to be 1.5. And you can see I saw these numbers both decrease. It's not changing any of these other heat values. It's only changing the one focused on air changes per hour, because again, these are the insulation values. This is the air changes per hour value. All right, to see the full effect, I can look up here at the whole home analysis, and I have kind of a quick reference to what it was before and what it is expected to be now. So again, this 163 therms per month, that is for our simulated winter month. So obviously we would expect that to be less in, say, September, certainly less in August, but in the kind of January, February, December timeframe, we would expect it to be about 163. And we would expect to see this as about a 7% savings on our energy bills. So that's how we do the first analysis. We're going to look at how we do a little bit more complicated analysis where we are adding insulation while also changing the weather sealing effect. So that will be in the next video. Join me there.